Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I am Dustin. We're going to be looking at Applied Digital Corporation today, or better known as APLD. Now, it did have quite the day. Just looking at it in general here, I mean, it was up 30% the entire day. Even after hours, it's up nearly another 10%. So the stuff that we're about to look at is going to be insane. Actually, let me go ahead and adjust this APLD. If you've never watched any of my videos before, this is one of my own personal models that I've built. I have started to turn this into an actual web app itself because I couldn't give access to the actual spreadsheet. And to be fair, I have done so much wonkiness in this entire thing that you may not want to see the whole thing. You just want to see pieces. We're looking at applied right here. This is, again, we're seeing 29% in one day, nearly 30%, 82% over 5 days. Seems about 136% over 15 days and 154% over 1 month. This is a remarkable move. And I don't want to call this something that's necessarily indicative or bigger than the overall market move that it is. Because if we look, let's go ahead and see where it is. Like the moves that we're seeing here are not insane relative to historic. The reason why, actually, it will be because when this updates, this is probably only through the end of last week, which it is. Once we actually see where this ends for the week, right now we're well above $10. What is the actual price? Let's just make sure. Yeah, this thing is at 14.48. If we think that we're at 14.48 here, yeah, we're somewhere up in this range here. This is going to be a massive move. I'm going to go ahead and flip back to my trade card here. The most important part to me is that this thing, I mean, the concerning part, to be honest, is that it's well above the top of its range. If we go ahead and look back here at the range, this thing is going to be well above. You can see this. Like that range right there was really reasonable to begin with. And actually, what I'm going to do, the one part that's really nice about being able to have this model is that I can actually just go ahead and quickly adjust it. That's what I'm going to do here. I mean, let me look. Let me look. I can just go ahead and this is the one thing that I don't like about this is that it is so adjustable because very often what will end up happening is that the data is going to get messed up. The calculations will get missed. You'll be missing a day because Google, while you think it's a great data provider, this is a free data service. And if you've never built anything specifically in spreadsheets using Google Finance, you could really quickly build something that is absolutely beautiful like this. Like this is a beautiful model in my opinion. That's why I've turned it into an app as well as I maintain the model. But at the same time, it can become something that is just atrocious. So let's go ahead and look back here. Now we can see where we are in the trade range. I mean, again, we are well above the top of the range, even on the weekly. So the weekly is going to have quite the adjustment. You can see it on the daily. Let's look. What I want to see is the volatility. So on the daily volatility correlation, you can see that it's rising. Is the volatility rising? Yeah, it is. I mean, so it is really positive to see that the correlation or the volatility has hit 5.1 and the correlation is also rising. Hopefully, if they roll over at the same time when you're getting something rolling over negative and the correlation is going negative, usually that's a quite a positive in terms of just steady growth. What I love is how much volume we got today too. This is significantly good. The only thing that I'd say would be slightly concerning is that you might be a little stretched here on the overall sentiment, just because you're already at 60%. That generally can go max. Max is going to be about 70, just because it's bullishness and bearishness. You can't have 100% bullishness. I mean, you can, but relative to how things actually work. But the benefit that we have here again is that on the weekly, things have got to change significantly. We're only at 49% bullishness on the weekly currently. That's remarkable. I mean, that was only through the 30th, but even still. Let's go ahead and look at the raw data. The reason why I like to look at the raw data is because, again, when we're looking at the type of, oh, this is the weekly. I mean, goodness gracious. If we look at this on the 1 week, 5 week, 15 week, and 5 month, we flipped completely positive. If we close here, this week, what is the price we need to close at above? We need to close above like 890 to be up on the 5 month. When did it flip on the 1 year? It flipped on the 1 year way back in September. It essentially didn't move though. That move was good, but it wasn't something to necessarily write home about. So let's go ahead and look. So the daily is really going to be more of what I'm going to care about here. The reason why is because if I look at what we've got, we have had some amazing runs. And what I like about here is that the red background and the black lettering, especially with this red lettering and the white background, that means three standard deviations above its mean, as well as then if we're looking here at the red lettering with the black background, that means it's two standard deviations above its mean. We've essentially seen this thing redline, even in the volume. I mean, I was highlighting that earlier when I was looking at the most recent 3 days, but it dwarfs what we even saw back in the middle of May. The reason that I think this is so important as well is because this is a complete shift. I mean, we're seeing in the 1 month, we were negative on the rolling 1 month for so long since the middle of February. And we got a complete break here at the very beginning of May when it was around $5.12. I mean, it was just a great signal because the type of move that we were starting to see once we got into like here. This wasn't anything that was necessarily to write home about again at the very beginning, but it was something that was a signal that was great things to come, especially in the 3 months is flipping positive, the 6 months is flip positive. I like what I see. We've got go long in the short term, intermediate term, and longer term. We've got bullishness in the short term, intermediate term, and longer term, which I'd love to see. If we go ahead and look at the overall sentiment, the only concern that I'd say, and I think I said this just on the other side when we were looking at this, is that we are kind of redlining in terms of where we are relative to how far we could go, because this is more of one of those indicators that's more stochastic, so it's going to stay in between a range generally. Like I said, never really going to go above 70, really never going to go below 40, right? It, or even at max it'll get to like 38, you know what I mean, maybe 35 if something's really extreme and it's bearish. But what I'm seeing is just confident buying. And then you see we had a big buy here. The thing that if I was going to say has any real concern to not just APLD, but is going to be for anything, is that we're starting to see a little bit of rotation back in the VIX in terms of it. It's not falling as fast as it was before. You don't expect it to necessarily stay in the high 20s or high 30s like it was back in April forever. But if you want to see some serious bullishness, there are much lower numbers than 17 and 18 that we could get to on the VIX for us to start feeling really comfortable in the overall market. Now, if I'm looking at what I expect the future to be here in APLD, I would honestly say that I would need it to come back into its range a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and look at my app here. Again, if you ever want to get to essentially what the version of that model is I have in this app here where you can go ahead and you can register. It's just free for you to sign up. I think it'll look just like this. What you're going to do is it's going to be able to just ask you what you want. You'll be able to log in. The thing that I like about it the most, though, is that when we get down to this table, it has the exact same coloring when it comes to what is going on with the actual price and the volume. You can see the bullishness, the trade levels, all that kind of stuff. In my opinion, the most important part that I see for APLD right now is that we've got higher highs. The fact that we are bullish with higher highs in our range is super, super long-term bullish. Now, I would think that because of the move we've seen today, I may want to chill on it a little bit, may want to wait for it to kind of come back into a range, maybe wait for the trade level to catch up, maybe get above 10, and then hopefully the price can stay around. I mean, see again, like 10 was a really good price to get into. That seemed high when, but you, again, you went from $6.83 on the 30th to $10.14. You're 50% in one day. And you would have thought that that would have been a crazy day. I mean, and then you would have bought on the day where it was only up 1%, you're up 30% the next day. Just a wild move in APLD. I am really curious. I'm actually going to go ahead and add this to my portfolio. The reason I'm able to get a reoccurring actual like kind of sentiment based on this, I'm going to go ahead and link my portfolio because now it should be in there. Um, and the thing is that when I add it to my portfolio, now it's going to allow me to be able to get some additional information specifically from like an AI model. So it's going to give me a little bit of feedback. When I look at this though, the only thing I'd say when I look at everything that's in my portfolio is that this is way too high, way too far away from its trade level and way too close to the top. I mean, this thing is well above the top of its range. I want it at least to be in the range. I at least need to be able to see the price come back down because if it doesn't do that, then I don't really feel comfortable with the idea that I'm going to necessarily have a great entry. So for now, if I was looking at what I would look at, even my portfolio, what do we see? Well, something that's like slightly. I'm actually kind of impressed. Actually, no. Natural gas and LPG are trash. We want to look for first off, what is bearish? Excuse me, what is bullish? And then how close are we to our trade level? I'd say here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, as crazy as it seems, Palantir and just the regular NASDAQ. The regular NASDAQ looks like it's fire right now. I mean, you're slightly above your trade level, you're slightly below your top of the range. Yeah, I honestly think I would end up buying Palantir. As crazy as it seems, I would end up buying Palantir here because I'm thinking that Palantir, and this is just a free idea I'm going to tack onto the back of this if you're still here. The thing about Palantir, in my opinion, is that it has the main qualifications of something that I think can be like a proper meme stock, right? It's got retail sentiment. I mean, the only concern that I'd say now is that the price is a little too high. I think it needs to probably do a split to get back down to like the teens or down to like, like the 10 20 range. That really drives retail sentiment. If you're around like that $20 range, especially going up to 50. Once you get to 100, now you're really playing with fire because this is where you're truly in institutional ownership. Once you get to like that $100 plus range, this is where you start to see some massive spikes and some massive gains. But if I look at what Palantir has, it's bullish. It's got a higher low. It's missing higher highs right now in its range, but I don't suspect that we won't see higher high, that will. I suspect that we will see higher highs pretty quickly here. And then if we look on the 1 year, I mean, this thing's up nearly 500% 1 year. Do you realize how insane that is? Like the idea that something's up 500% in 1 year as a when it was up yesterday. It's up 78% in 6 months. Those are just insane numbers. Let's just go back and see like what happened? Like when was it? Was this thing ever negative? No. This thing has been balling, right? I'm gonna go ahead and look at the 5-year chart. Yeah, I mean, I see why. This thing has been balling for nearly I mean, yeah, balling. So this is essentially how I'm gonna go ahead and look at what I was looking at in terms of APLD. The reason why I want to bring in Palantir is just to kind of walk through the model. But when I think about APLD, this is a great move. I mean, you are at the top of your 52-week range. You're at the top of your daily range. You are in a phenomenal position, expecting that the market is going to continue to essentially show you lower and lower volatility. Like I said, volatility or the VIX is around in the high teens right now. I expect it to fall. I expect us to have a great opportunity to be able to buy into the end of the year. I mean, no matter what people try to do, the market loves to climb a wall of worry. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? And before you go, subscribe to the New High newsletter. I send you 25 stocks to your inbox every single Sunday. I'm stocks breaking out to 1-year highs, stocks breaking out to all-time highs. It is a great list to get your trading week started, and it gives you a nice insight because I start to go through the review of the volatility index, like in terms of turbulence. I review the major indexes. I'm just kind of taking a check of the market myself, and I share it with you. I think you'll get something really valuable out of it. I'll talk to you soon.